Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So we did get a pretty strong drop yesterday. You can see in this 8-hour bar, fairly solid, and then an inside bar on the bottom of the range. So my view still stays the same. So break above, we should be looking for longs, and that should take us to that area there, which is 103.649, and we start breaking below here, then I suspect the bigger trend is going to continue to the downside. So if we switch across to the hour, there wasn't really much on offer yesterday, except I suppose London breakout strategy, which would be the first 7 1-hour bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you just do that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. There's the range target. See that bar almost tagged it, and then you've got the next extension, and then probably hit a third extension of that as well. For me, there was nothing here indicating that you could have got in yesterday. I'll double check that. I was sitting on the sides. I suppose we could argue that there break below the 155 and then a retest of it and then drop. That could have been the entry. But anyway, for me, it sit on hands until the Feds have come out with the interest rate hike. And looking at the oscillators at the moment, this is a big drop. You should be looking for a shorting opportunity off structure. There's one bit of structure, and I'll give you the levels now. There's the next bit of structure. So watch the following levels: 101.557. You're looking for a rejection there, and you're looking for a rejection also of 101.800. What I would also be looking for is anything in between. You can see there are a few tails in between that zone. So any rejection in this area probably going to validate some kind of a flag triangle, and then you're going to should anticipate a break of 101.253. Could happen during the European session. There may be some noise coming out during Europe, allowing that to happen. The oscillators are starting to separate far apart as well. So I would suspect that is the move you're looking for. We're anticipating a break of this range to the downside. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen. A bit of a different scenario brewing here. We had a drop last week, and then we've just been gradually grinding higher. Oscillators have crossed over and pointing up, so could indicate some kind of a break higher, but at the moment it looks like a bit of a flag for a continuation down. So there was the big move down, and now we've got this gradually grinding higher. Look at the moving averages here. Sorry, not the oscillators crossed over, rejecting the 155. The US dollar Japanese yen, as far as I'm concerned, I think between the moving averages here, we are stuck in a range. So don't really see anything else. 15 minutes is saying potential move to the upside still. 1 hour is saying watch out. We are looking for a move to the downside. And then the 8-hour is indicating that we should be looking for a continuation up. So I'm still looking for a break of 137.075. So what we're looking for here is a break and retest of 137.075. That would start giving me the confidence that this is sort of a bottom. I'd look at break up, come back, test it, and then start looking for the longs. And then moves to the downside is pretty much any break and retest of yesterday's low at this stage. So that's 136.289. So this is a sit on hands until we break through that structure as well. Moving on to British pound Japanese yen, we're still stuck in this triangle. Don't see anything else changing on this pair right now. If we move down to the hour, you do have a gap here from this morning to act as a magnet. We're also hovering in this zone here. Bit of an inverse head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder with a break. But as far as I'm concerned, we need to start breaking above that structure or below the structure for this to start taking shape. Look at the moving averages. Look at the oscillators first, all grouped to the upside. Then look at the moving averages. We're pretty much grouping and could be crossing over, or we could just be flattening out. Honestly, don't think you've got any structure here. London breakout is probably the only thing that's going to work for you right now. So if you look at yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that was the structure there. And you can see there's the range there. We hit the range, buyers came in and stepped up. So today I would pretty much look for the same kind of scenario, and it would probably be something like that. So if we do break to the upside, you can see the range is the top of this triangle, and if we break to the downside, no real structure to the downside, but we could pick up one of these tails here. So that's kind of, there is probably a scalping opportunity on this, but for me, until we break through that triangle, we are sideways. Lastly, Euro British Pound. We've got a pretty strong move to the downside as we were expecting yesterday. We've cleared this the structure. We came back to test it, dropped below it early in the session, then came back to test it. Oh, sorry, early in the week, came back to test it yesterday, and then we dropped. So there is a little bit more structure here. Yeah, that's the one. So just look at yesterday first. Said to you, we need to look for a rejection in that area. There's your rejection. Even if you come down to the 15 minutes here, you would have seen engulfing bar off in that zone I gave you. Second attempt at a double top below the 155 EMA. Great opportunity. Oscillators all grouped to the upside, and boom, we traveled to the downside pretty rapidly. So trend is down at the moment, and nice start to the week here, but could be a flag forming. Obviously what we're looking for is a retest of structure. So 0.84320 is the area to pay attention to. If you get above that, then if you look to the left, you will see, I'm just going to take it roughly in there, but you can see all this chaos inside that area. So you could get a pullback high as 0.84495, and don't count out a pullback all the way up to 0.84734. So I'd be watching those levels for a rejection, but at the same time I'd be watching the first 7 1-hour bars and look at the London breakout strategy. It does look like a flag to me on the 15-minute. So whatever, let's get a block here. So let's just say, we range about in this area here this morning, and then at the European Open we kind of reject the top here and then break below the current low of today. Then I would expect another move down. Firstly, the height of the range, and if you just keep looking to the left, you should see not much in the line of support. We are kind of at the limit here. There's a lot of interaction here, but I think the next logical step would be something down there, which kind of lines up with the block trade to the downside. Let's get there, yeah. So that just lines up with the range trade to the downside at 0.83938. That's kind of the view I've got at the moment, and if you look at the oscillators as well, they're starting to move up. So very strong possibility that this is a flag forming, looking for rejection, looking for an entry on the break of price action at that level, and then you're anticipating firstly to tag 0.83938, and then secondly anticipating a break through that level. And looking at the weekly, I see all those levels there. Pretty strong levels of support that we're getting through at the moment, but for all intents and purposes this trend is still down. Could be a much bigger flag brewing on the weekly, which means this previous move from last year could very much continue to the downside. Anyway, that's kind of my view today on Forex. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.